Welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show. And I have two apologies for you today. Apology number one is I say the word stoked way too often. And I was just watching my podcast intros and I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, but now it's in my awareness and I will work on it, not using it so much. And I will whip open a dictionary. And apology number two is this is the second quote episode. And I think in the first intro, I said that we were going to have two of them, but there's actually going to be three of them because I had more flood in. And I had to share them because all the new ones that flooded in were just so good that I had to share. And so just like I said in the first episode, if you haven't heard that, you might want to go listen to it again. But this is a collection of all of our community's favorite quotes, quotes that help them in dark seasons, help them stay focused on winning, focused on mindset. There's love quotes, there's business quotes, there's self-awareness quotes, there are Bible quotes, there are Quran quotes, there are anything that tickles. And my ask is that if these tickle, pick one up and use it. Pick one up and make it your mission. Pick one up and make it your mantra and embody it, because that's how this game is won. One of the old personal development mantras that was said all the time, and I don't remember who said it first, but they teach it in the personal development world, is it's be, do, have. And, I've broken down Benjamin Hardy books and Nicole LePera books, and really that game has changed my life. That awareness has changed my life. And it always starts with a quote, a perspective shift, something that lands in the moment that gives me hope and inspiration. And that's what I hope this is for you. There's a ton in this one, and this is part 2 of a 3-part series of all of these quotes. And like I asked in the episode, is if you would benefit if we saved all these in one place or had them in a big PDF or one place to find them, let me know. Like shoot me a DM on Instagram and genuinely let me know, and we will make it. But I don't believe in Field of Dreams, but if you ask me to build it, I will totally build it. So slide into my DMs on Instagram. And without further ado, let's get into today's session on quotes. And I cannot wait to hear from you on which one tickled, which one you loved, and more importantly, why. So here we go. And welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show. I am stoked. This is part 2 of the Quotes podcast. And I was just on with my incredible clients, Jake and Kat, love you both to pieces. And we were talking about scaling businesses and marketing. And one of the best things that I heard them repeat that I've known for years is that everything's a test and you just have to try things. And in the state of the world and how quickly things change, we got to remember that it's about testing things on ourselves, testing our own challenges and patterns and having breakthroughs, testing things with our marketing, testing things with our messaging. And in full transparency, recording this podcast on these quotes has made me a little bit uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen a podcast or heard a podcast where everyone's just reading their favorite quotes or talking about the things that land. And so in the spirit of that, I just figured I'd be honest with you and transparent that I love doing this. And these quotes have tickled so deeply to the point where I'm making a list of all of them. And on the first episode, I shared all the ones that I got on Instagram. And on this one, I'm going to share all the ones that I got on Facebook. And I have quite different people on both. And the quotes are different. And some of them are going to resonate. And some of them are going to be similar to ones that we've heard. But I was always like, God, I love like listening to things and having reminders, like my favorite songs or my favorite quotes. And that's my intention with this is to have one of these quotes tickle or have one of them land, have one of them support you, have one of them catch you in the perfect time and have it tickle in a way to fill your bucket or to change our perspective or to help you feel empowered to make a decision or to try something or test something. And for me, this is me testing and hoping this lands. And I cannot wait to hear your feedback. Even if you want to DM me and be like, dude, don't ever do a quotes podcast again. I can't listen to you just read other people's quotes. Or you're like, hey, can you assemble all of those quotes into one PDF so we can download them? Like, I want to know your ideas and I genuinely love reading them. And so if you have an idea, if you want to shoot me a DM, please shoot me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is It's George Bryant. The It's is included. ITSGeorgeBryant. But based on the level of excitement I have in my body, I hope this is as exciting for you because I've been reading these and rereading these and prepping for the show. And so many of them are timely for the season of my life that I'm in. And so I hope that this will be one of those episodes where you can listen, you can grab one or two, like I said in the first episode, and take action on it. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the quotes and I'm going to read the person's name and the quote that was given. And all of these ones came from my personal Facebook account. And there are some doozies in here and I love them. And so let's get into it. Number 1, Dan Stillman. I am excitedly trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect timing and order for my highest good. while I continue to practice working with the qualities of patience, compassion, and trust. My dear friend, incredible entrepreneur Jason Everett says, never let someone tell you no who doesn't have the power to say yes. And that's an Eleanor Roosevelt one. Fire Deming says, seems silly maybe, but my favorite quote to my favorite movie. When things look gloom and bad things seem to keep happening, I try to remember that all things are temporary and it can't rain all the time. Chrissy Connor says, set a goal so high that you can't achieve it until you grow into the person who can. I love that one. From our incredible CEO, Ashley DeLuca, she says, I'm in love with this quote. When you get what you want, that's God's direction. When you don't get what you want, that's God's protection. Oh, I love that one. Melissa Cleek is dropping in one from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Stephanie Ann says, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek, from Joseph Campbell. And that reminds me of a Mike Tyson quote, obviously coming from Joseph Campbell. But the magic you're looking for is in the work you won't do. Jeremy Jackson says, there's no there, and you don't find out till you get there. You have to eat your own dog food. Fits right with, it's not about practice what you preach what you practice. Another one from Jeremy, from Eric Thomas, great ET, the hip hop preacher. Your effort is low when you're focused on the obligation and not the opportunity. And then he has another one from Denzel Washington. When you pray for rain, be ready to deal with the mud. Love these. Eric Salas says, hate me, fall in love with the results. Jeremy Jackson has another one that says, the body can't go where the mind hasn't been. My dear friend and incredible man, Bill Boutwell, gives us a lot in here, and I love all of these ones. First one is from Psalm 139:14. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. 1 Peter 4:8. Love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. And then his last one is from Eckhart Tolle. Life will give you whatever experience is most helpful for the evolution of your consciousness. How do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you are having at that moment. Ooh, that one tickles me pretty deeply right now. My dear friend on Facebook, Jim Burgoon, says from John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Nicole Scheffler, love you, girl. She says, one person can't do everything, but everyone can do something. I love that, especially in the state of the world we're in, that it's always collaboration over competition. Jason Sandman, what's up, brother? Giving me a good one here from Terrence McKenna. Nature loves courage. You make the commitment and nature will respond to that commitment by removing impossible obstacles. Dream the impossible dream and the world will not grind you under. It will lift you up. This is the trick. This is what all these teachers and philosophers who really counted, who really touched the alchemical gold, this is what they understood. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done. By hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a feather bed. Ooh, I love that last line. By hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a feather bed. Jim Bergen with another beautiful one from Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways know him, and he will make your path straight. Carrie Lowe. So two of my favorite quotes are by me. I love you, Carrie, and I love this one. You have everything you need deep inside to make yourself whole. Yes. Jeremy Jackson with another one. There are no ordinary moments. Spencer Fothergill. I love these. Your word is your bond. The value of a man resides in what he gives and not in what he is capable of receiving. Evil prevails when good men fail to act. The best way to destroy an enemy is to make him your friend. Sometimes the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel is really the head lantern of an oncoming train. Keep on keeping on. When you know God, you got a friend, and that friend is you. It's your world, dog. I'm just passing through. Love sucks. True love swallows. That one, I'm just going to leave that. And excited to see the end product, my brother. Very cool concept. Oh, on this one. So thank you, Spencer. And thanks for dropping in one of the non-rated ones, but everybody can just laugh because I'm not taking it out. And here's the second one from Carrie Lowe. That's hers. The gift of loving ourselves comes from knowing ourselves. Dane Boyle, I love you, brother. This one is from Charles Swindoll. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Timothy Wells, my main man, Timothy, who taught me a new world called Grundle. This one is from him. He said, I learned this one in Latin class in high school. Semper ubi sub ubi. Translated, always wear underwear. It may not be as positive as others are submitting, but it sure can make you sound smart in a debate. Well, I can see your point. Semper ubi sub ubi, and hope they don't know Latin. But if they do, it usually will cause a smile. Timothy, I love you, brother. Martha Zilberman, it will happen on God's timing, not my timing. Christy Otto, the difference between an ordeal and an adventure is attitude. Charles Robert, I commented recently on a friend's post and was reflecting afterwards how deep the quote is. Observing with the heart makes a world of difference. I love that. Callie Edmondson from Anthony St. Martin says, healing is never complete until we have been truly heard. May the universe send you someone who will sincerely care to listen. Oh, that one tickles. Callie Edmondson with another one. To love, the consistent commitment to the growth of the other through regular and spontaneous acts of giving. And that's from The Erotic and the Holy from Mark Gaffney. Callie Edmondson with another one from KRS-One, incredible musician. Those who don't know criticize because they don't know. Those who don't need to criticize, they know. Miss Linnea Kimball, I love you, mama. She says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Profound meaning in my life over 7 decades. Callie Edmondson with another one from the Dalai Lama. As long as space endures, as long as As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, may I too live to dispel the miseries of the world. From the Dalai Lama. Callie Edmondson with another one from Luke 17:21. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Callie with another one from 1 Corinthians 3:16. Don't you know that you yourselves are God's temple and that God's spirit dwells in your midst? I'm loving these. Callie Edmondson with another one, and this is one of my favorite questions ever that's been asked to me and tickles every time. What would you do if you loved yourself? Master Frank Guarini, appreciate you, Frank. Get up just one more time than you fall down. Earn your attitude, keep your promises. David Bordeaux on integrity and honesty. The Quran emphasizes the importance of integrity and honesty in all aspects of life, including business. It warns against deceitful practices, stressing the need for fairness in trade. Woe to those who give less than due, who when they take a measure from people take in full. But if they give by measure or by weight to them, they cause loss. This highlights the importance of honesty and integrity, ensuring that transactions are fair and just. And then Eddie Medina says, allow yourself to be proud of the progress that no one else has seen. I love that. David Bordeaux with one from Mark Twain. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. Ooh, buddy. Another one from David Bordeaux, and this is a George Patton quote. If everyone is thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking. Then another David Bordeaux quote from George Carlin, think off center. God, George Carlin was incredible. Another one from David Bordeaux, from George Bernard Shaw. All great truths begin as blasphemies. David with another one from General Douglas MacArthur. The soldier above all other people prays for peace, for he must suffer and bear the deepest wounds and scars of war. That one really resonates with me. Olga Keith says, per aspera ad astra, and I'm going to have to Google that one. I don't know what that one means, so pre-handled apologies if that means something I'm unaware of. Per aspera ad astra. Trina Gonzel in here with a loved one here. Love this one, girl. Always happy to help you, and here are a few of mine. My dad said, if you don't think too good, don't think too much. Make everywhere you go better than you found it. Love is always the solution. Jesus taught that two greatest commandments were to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Love for all people was at the very center of Jesus's message. Amen. Trina with another one from Yakov Smirnoff. It's kind of bittersweet. The human spirit is not measured by the size of the act, but by the size of the heart. I love that. Another one from Yakov Smirnoff. If love is the treasure, laughter is the key. My main man, Tanner Holman, coming in from Tiny Buddha. If you cannot change the course of a storm, sit quietly and be the lighthouse. You know, I love that one. Tanner drops another one in here from Rocky Balboa. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. God, I love Rocky. Eddie Medina with a quote. You're truly great, not because you've never failed, but because failure couldn't stop you from moving forward. David Bordeaux with one of his quotes, and I love this, shameless self-quote sharing. True leadership empowers others to stand strong and succeed independently, ensuring the team thrives even in the leader's absence. David, I love that. Thank you for the shameless self-quote sharing. And here's another one of his shameless self-quotes. Release your grip on expectations and embrace others as they are. This simple shift will transform your connections and let them thrive. David, you have my full permission to self-promote anytime because I love your quotes. My main man, George Kalantzis, one of my homeboys and brothers from another mother. The poet's job is to be a witness, to pay attention to the world and give voice to the things we often overlook. My gift lies in my ability to see everything from many different angles and share it with the world. My gift is a way with words. Do not let it go to waste by shutting out how you feel ever. And that's from Robert Bly. Charles Goodwin, I'd rather be a hypocrite than the same person forever, from Adam Horovitz, which was a Beastie Boy. Glenn Nicholson with an original quote. It's good to believe in something. It's best to believe in yourself. And then a quote from Jennifer Lee. The fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. Mark Mills, you can't learn what you think you already know, and this too shall pass. I love the can't learn what you think you already know. One of my favorite quotes from a shaman that was given to me as a student says, I already know, and a master says, thanks for the reminder. Dan Segara, my mind is a garden. My thoughts are like seeds. I can plant flowers or I can plant weeds. I love that one. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And the future is a treasure, my effort the key. With hard work and discipline, I can be anything I want to be. Ooh, I love that. The future is a treasure, my effort the key. With hard work and discipline, I can be anything I want to be. John Ramos, when you share your pain, you cut it in half. When you share your joy, it doubles. Matthew Stensland Boss, Psalm 23rd, the mustard seed verse. For I know the plans I have for you, for we know that all things work together for the good. Chip Franks, I love you, buddy. And he dropped a ton in here. This too shall pass. Everyone we know is fighting a hard battle we know nothing about, so be kind. The kingdom of heaven is within you, from Jesus Christ. Sharon Salzberg, as much as anyone in the world, you deserve your love and affection. Zig Ziglar, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough people get what they want. Wayne Dyer, God works in mysterious but never accidental ways. Indeed, it is and always has been perfect. Everything will be divinely perfect in the end. And if it's not divinely perfect, it's not the end. A Chip quote, an old Indian proverb popularized by John Lennon and immensely improved by Chip Franks. Our souls are intertwined with our loved ones throughout eternity. People may be mean, rude, selfish, lying, unreasonable, and worse, and I choose to love them and bless them anyways. Chip, you embody that, my friend. And Mother Teresa's quote, made better by Chip Franks. And then George Bryant is an amazing human being, and I love the guy, from Chip. Thank you, Chip. I appreciate you. Massey Archibald, a wise son maketh a glad father, which is Proverbs 15:20. Tammy Winters with Psalm 37:4. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. That's one of my favorites. Wendy Bjork, each day is a gift. Don't send it back unopened. Oh, girl, that was incredible. Andy Clark with one of my favorites from Kurt Vonnegut. Did you know that if you put 100 black ants and 100 red ants in a jar, nothing will happen? But if you shake the jar hard, the ants start killing each other. The red ants consider the black ants their enemies, and the black ants consider the red ants their enemies. The true enemy is the one shaking the jar. The same thing happens in human society. So before we attack each other, we should think about who is shaking the jar. My homeboy Bernard with Matthew 6:33. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. And then Psalms 37:4 again, and I love this. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Krista Tressa, Lord, forgive my husband, for he knows not what he does. I think that's a movie line from National Lampoon's Vacation. Actually, my favorite scriptures from the Bible, Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. I have it framed and hung in my dining room. That's a good one to have framed. Julie Cole, we will cause ourselves a lifetime of misery to avoid one moment of pain. Don't avoid the hard stuff if you want life to be full and good. Kayla Kimball with a Mel Robbins quote, you have been assigned this mountain so you can show others it can be moved. Chris Foss, work harder on yourself than you do on your job, from Jim Rohn. My main man Lecky from Seneca, we suffer more in imagination than reality. Lauren Demers, this one got me through my first year as a teacher of students with disabilities and challenging behaviors. And this is a Teddy Roosevelt quote, and I love it. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strived valiantly, who errs, who comes again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends themselves in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he falls, at least falls while daring greatly. Holy moly. Some of those tickled so much that I'm going to end and wrap this episode now. And there's going to be one more version of this because I want to keep them bite-sized and chunked and down. And I'm a little emotional saying this because we all go through seasons in life. And it's our reaction to those seasons that define who we are and lay out the path of who we get to become. And one of my favorite quotes is, the obstacle's the opportunity. And if I'm in a situation, it's a path that God has laid in front of me to make me the man to have what's on the other side. And there were so many poignant and powerful reminders in this episode and some of these quotes that tickled deeply. But I've said it before, as my dear friend Alex Sharfin says, is I don't have the business I want because I haven't become the person to run it. I didn't have the relationship I want, or with my son that I want, or with my body that I wanted, because I hadn't become the person to run it. And I look at all of these obstacles as the opportunities now, and they're just really course corrections and invitations to grow, invitations to learn, invitations to expand my skill set or my mindset or my capacity. And I think that that's the mark of true success, is being a forever student and never having there be a finish line. And so all of these resonated so deeply, and some of them got me tickled to my core. And I'm just excited to share them with you. And so, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I would love to hear what your favorite quote is, or which one of these tickled. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode and this format. If you want me to do these again in the future, or curate them differently, or if you want me to pour all of these into one big document and share them all with you so that we have them all in one easy place. But no matter what, I just want to be connected with you. And I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you for listening. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for being an incredible human being in a lighthouse who makes a difference in the world. Thank you for waking up today and choosing you, no matter how you're playing or how much effort you're giving, that you're still giving it. Thank you for caring about people. Thank you for always growing. Thank you for always loving. And thank you for being amazing. And so I can't wait to see you guys, or you hear me in another episode. I love you to pieces. Remember that relationships will always beat algorithms, especially the one with yourself, and have a beautiful day.